What up, guys? Kevin here. Everyone's doing it, so I'm going to do it. Make my most disappointing games of 2023. Let's do it. Few rules, real quick. These aren't bad games. This isn't the worst games of 2023. They're not the best. These are games I would actually like to go back to and play. It's usually a mindset. My expectations were too high or a little bit different than what I expected from these games. So I played it. I went, that's not what I wanted. And then I dropped it, moved on to something else. And here I am telling you what those games are that I was disappointed by in 2023. First one, probably on everyone's list, Starfield. Can't go home, guys. You just can't go home. What is home? Skyrim. But Skyrim, there was a time and place for Skyrim. I wanted Starfield to be Skyrim in space. I think everyone wanted that. Everybody has fond memories of Skyrim. And maybe that's all our faults for expecting that. But at the same time, I was bored as fuck with this game. I think, and I went in and going like, all right, I got to create my character. You got to learn, what the story's all about, the characters, the world, the many worlds, and then things will get going. And maybe that would be true after maybe 20, 30, 40, 50, however many hours. But at the 15-hour mark for me, where I'm somebody that has like an hour or two at most a night, even on my nights off, to play video games. And after 5 or 6 days in a row, being bored out of my mind, playing Starfield, I get a little bit angry. I get very angry. I hate my time being wasted. I hate wasting my very precious, very finite time being bored. And that's what happened with Starfield. I was bored. So I dropped it, moved on to the many other games that were out. Now Starfield, I think I will enjoy once I go back to and be a little bit more objective focused. I just kind of went in wanting to do it all. And that's not the way to tackle Starfield. That is the way to tackle Skyrim. You can do whatever you want. Here, it's pretty boring. It's pretty boring. Starfield is boring. And I'm disappointed by it. Next game. Atelier Ryza 3, Alchemist of the End and the Secret Key. I think actually going into 2023, this was my most anticipated game. I think I put it over Final Fantasy 16 because I loved the first 2 Atelier games and I know I was going to get something great here. Where Final Fantasy 16, I'm just like, I don't know. I don't know what that game is really about. It looks really different. Well, Final Fantasy 16 ended up number 2 on my Game of the Year list, while Atelier Ryza 3 ended up as one of my most disappointing games. And it just comes down to, it was just too big and bloated. Really the map. There's a lot of times I found myself, it's like, oh, I got to go to the next objective. And it was just really far. It was just really far. And there was always be like a cliff or something in my way. I'm like, just found myself always looking at the map like, wait, I got to go around here and then around here to get to here. And I think that's just kind of an early game flaw. Not maybe a flaw, but just something where, you got to explore more of the map and unlock new areas to fast travel to. And then after a while, it won't be an issue. But it was an issue for me. That was a turn off to the game. And the keys. I hated the keys. All these Atelier games have gimmicks, and the keys, creating keys. I'm like, I just wasn't patient with it. I just didn't give a fuck. But everything else, there was like great quality of life improvements, very beautiful on the PS5. And it's absolutely a game I will go back to. I will go back to it. It's an off year for the Atelier games, though. There is one coming to Steam, but it's a mobile game. But I think that's why there is no game. Like, guys, Gus, Kevin has not beat Atelier Ryza 3. He will. We'll just hold off a year with the next main game, so Kevin can beat it. Because I really do want to beat it. But that's Atelier Ryza 3, Alchemist of the End, and the Secret Key. Shout out to Atelier Marie. I'm not disappointed by that. I'm actually I actually think it's a really great game. Do need to go back and beat that one. What's the next one? I don't even know. I don't even know, guys. Ooh, Super Mario RPG. Oh, it's here's the issue. First off, I'm not that big into Mario. Mario had its time and place for me, and that's when I was like 3 to 10. But Super Mario RPG, I haven't played it in a couple weeks, but it was always a game where I went every day. I'm like, yeah, when I get home from work, I'm gonna play Super Mario RPG. But I haven't for the last couple weeks. And then I was watching a video where someone was comparing the original with the new one. And I'm like, yeah, it's the art style or the just how clean Super Mario RPG for the Switch looks. It's just too clean. It's way too clean looking. It feels like it's so clean it's made for kids. Where I'm watching the original, I'm like, that just looks like the original just has so much character. And I just wish they would have, smoothed out the jaggies on that one and released it like they did with the Grandia. I know people have issues with the Grandia games on Switch, but I think they did a perfect job there. And I wish they did that with Super Mario RPG. It's just too clean looking, and for a JRPG, I need a little bit more, like jank, a little bit more. Player Essence would call it sauce. They took that sauce away. That's Super Mario RPG. A game I'll probably still will play and beat, but in a way, I think I'm most disappointed by it. And it's so charming. The game is so charming, but man, just that really clean art style. It's just off-putting. What is the next one? And these games are not in any order, by the way, but I think I got a few more. Oh, Zelda. The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. Oh, boy. Now, I'm only putting this here because I actually really did like Breath of the Wild. A game that it took me like 27 tries to get into. This game would probably take me like 37 tries to really get into. Tears of the Kingdom. And I afforded that many tries because it's Zelda. I don't know if I will anymore. Zelda, I think you had your pass. This one, the gameplay, just putting shit together just really was off-putting to me. And seeing people really enjoy it and the creative stuff that they did with it, it's like they like Minecraft or whatever, like putting IKEA furniture together type shit. I'm just like, I have never been into that type of gameplay. And the world it's a beautiful world, but it's the Switch, and the Switch is just nasty. It's just, ugh. Like, there is a beautiful world in here. It's just so Switchified. We need the Switch too. Maybe I'll give this game another shot when they either re-release it or it gets a little remaster for the Switch 2. And it looks decent. And it runs at 60 frames per second. Yeah, I just, setting aside the game looks exactly like Breath of the Wild. But you go in the air and underground. I don't care about that stuff. Yeah. I was really disappointed by it. I was disappointed, but it was the same thing that happened with Breath of the Wild where it just didn't stick the first time. But this one, yeah. Knowing that gameplay loop and just here still being disappointed, nah. Not for me right now. Diablo 4. Now, I wasn't going to put this game on the list, but I'm like, I only got to about like level 45, and then I stopped playing. And I played it a few weeks ago, and I was reminded, like, yeah, the game's kind of boring. Just kind of boring. Just really doing the same thing over and over and over again. And it's all about the build, but the game levels up with you. I forgot what you call that. Not skill-based matchmaking. I don't know why I got that in my head, but where all the enemies level up with you so you never feel like strong and dominant. That's what happened here with Diablo 4. I'm just like, man, can I just have like an hour where I'm just like annihilating everything? Just whipping ass? Like, I miss that. I miss that in video games. Like, you start in the beginning area, you suck, you get stronger, and then you go back to that beginning area and you just one-shot everything. and you feel like a badass. They got rid of that in Diablo 4. And I think the art style, I'm not looking for like cartoony art, but starting off, it's just very gray and dank. I was like, meh, meh. It's a very depressing world to be in. I know that probably fits Diablo 4 or Diablo in general, but I don't know. I even like watching people play Diablo 2, and I play Diablo 2. I'm like, that's perfect. I think Diablo 2 is the best Diablo game out there, right? But yeah, Diablo 4, game I like to go back. I won't even say go back. I still play here and there, but yeah, I would just think I would have beaten the game at least once by now, but I haven't. Next up, Octopath Traveler 2. I believe this is it. Yeah, this is the last game. Octopath Traveler 2. Yeah, I want to say my expectations were really high, but it just was the same thing with Octopath Traveler 1, where I played a few chapters and went, yeah, that's good. And then I moved on to something else. That's what happened with Octopath Traveler 2. Played a few chapters, and I was like, okay, it's good. And then I stopped playing it. Shout out to Square Enix. They gave me a code. Probably the reason why they're never going to give me a code again, because I started doing a Let's Play. And then I'm just like, I don't want to do a Let's Play anymore. I didn't want to play the game anymore. I think the issue is it's hard for me to get attached to any of the characters. Sure, there's like Agatha, and I think there's like one other that's a fan favorite. Thank you kindly. Got that dude. But I didn't really care too much. It was hard for me to get invested to anyone's stories when I would just be jumping over to another one, and I don't know. To me, I want something with a little bit more cohesion, and they say that the characters interact with each other better here, but I didn't find that to be true. But again, I didn't play it too much. Maybe they did, but yeah, Octopath Traveler 2 looks great. Music's awesome. It's just one of those like perfect games that I'm just like, meh, not into. But that's Octopath Traveler 2. I think that's it. Yeah. So those are my most disappointing games of 2023. Again, I don't think any of these games are bad. Tears of the Kingdom might be. Nah, I'm joking. But yeah, let me know what yours is in the comment section. And I probably won't read it because I barely read the comments. But thank you for interacting with the video. And I'll talk to you later. Later.